Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the profound realms of Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari, an Israeli historian and tenured professor at the Department of History of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and the well-regarded author of the best-selling book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. Homo Deus presents a bold and intricate roadmap of mankind's evolution, laying out how we have risen to become the dominant force on Earth. Harari provides a striking exploration of our current humanist society, where the sanctity and autonomy of the individual reign supreme, leading us to worship the power of choice and the self. However, Harari takes us beyond the present, casting his gaze on the horizon of a not-so-distant future. He sketches a prescient and slightly unsettling vision of tomorrow, where our reliance on science and technology may lead us to relinquish our dominion, becoming subservient to the impeccably logical yet impassive realm of computer algorithms. This book is an essential read for a variety of inquisitive minds. Individuals fascinated with the tapestry of human progress and our species' history will find Homo Deus particularly enlightening. Technophiles seeking to grasp the nuances of what the future holds will be engrossed by Harari's insights. Conversely, technophobes, apprehensive about the potential pitfalls of our rapid technological advancement, will find Homo Deus offers valuable perspectives to brace themselves for the changes to come. Embark on this intellectual journey with us as we summarize the key themes and predictions of Homo Deus and ponder the question, what lies ahead for humanity in an age where data reigns supreme? Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow. Introduction: Discover the precarious perch humanity sits upon. Once upon a time, the Earth bore witness to a remarkable event, the rise of Homo sapiens. Our ancestors, armed with an unparalleled knack for innovation, consciousness, and reflection, reshaped the planet. Cultures around the world spun tales and teachings that enshrined humans at the epicenter of life's grand narrative. Now, on the back of relentless scientific and technological strides, humans have never seemed so omnipotent. Computers and evolving artificial intelligence are among our most brilliant achievements, yet they might also herald our obsolescence. Dare we consider it? Are we crafting the instruments of our own downfall? This narrative voyages back to humanity's ascent, our belief in our exceptional nature, and glances daringly into a future where our sovereignty is at stake. From the wiles of science that turn rodents into remote-controlled robots to the symbolism of the U.S. presidential election symbolizing human ascendancy, and to understanding why liberalism and nationalism are akin to modern faiths. Buckle in for a tour of humankind's past, present, and perhaps a humbling glimpse into our future. Part 1. Scaling new peaks of ambition as humanity's grasp exceeds its reach. As architects of our own destiny, humans have repeatedly defied the very limits of nature. From carving footprints on the moon to harnessing remedies that push back against the once inexorable tide of famine, disease, and warfare, we've sculpted a world in which yesterday's insurmountable perils are today's challenges, challenges that we're increasingly mastering. Pause for reflection and marvel at the strides we've made. Consider famine, a specter that once swept away millions, as evidenced by the harrowing famine that claimed 15% of France's population in the late 17th century. Contrast that with the present, where obesity has surpassed hunger as a global killer, claiming 3 million lives in 2010, a stark reversal of historic trends. Take the plague of disease. The Black Death relentlessly scythed down a quarter of Eurasia's population in the 14th century. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the Ebola virus, as deadly as it may be, claimed only 11,000 lives, a number dwarfed by the fatalities of ancient pandemics. The narrative of war paints a similar picture of progression. Where once battles and bloodshed were part and parcel of human existence, you now stand a greater chance of succumbing to diabetes than dying on a battlefield. Why does this matter? It signals an evolutionary crossroads. Humankind now has the luxury of redefining its collective objectives. Our sights are set on extending the horizon of human lifespan, enhancing contentment, fortifying strength, and perhaps even courting immortality. Evidence of our restless pursuit of these goals abounds. The leaps made in 20th century medicine have nearly doubled our life expectancy. The quest for happiness finds some turning to chemical euphoria, as millions seek the serotonin surge of substances like ecstasy. As for strength, technology now empowers the paralyzed, granting control over bionic limbs with nothing more than a thought. We are only just embarking on this journey to audacious heights. The climb heralds thrills and yet unknown summits, for human ambition is not static. It evolves, reaching for a future brimming with limitless potential. Part 2. The delicate web of superiority, humanity's tenuous grasp on dominion. We, humankind, stand as the reigning champions of Earth, toppling all rivals for the title of supreme inhabitants. Yet, one must wonder, is our rule eternal, or just a fleeting moment in the grander scheme of life? To glimpse our future, we should delve into our origins. How did we secure our lofty perch atop Earth's vast menagerie? Our journey of domination began with the Neolithic Revolution, when we shifted from hunter-gatherers to farmers, taming beasts and turning soil some 12,000 years ago. Today, a staggering 90+% of the planet's hefty fauna are creatures we've domesticated. Yet this control comes at a steep price, one paid in animal suffering. Countless creatures endure lives of confinement and desperation to satiate our hunger for affordable protein. And what elevates us above these beasts to warrant such tyranny? Despite our lofty self-image, the divides between us and our fellow animals aren't as vast as our egos might suggest. The notion of an exclusive human soul is a cherished idea among monotheists, setting us apart. However, such a soul remains elusive under the microscopic view of empiricism. Could it be consciousness that enshrines our exceptionalism? The enigma of consciousness is one that even modern science hasn't cracked. Can we, with any certainty, argue that our awareness of self and environment is fundamentally superior to that of other animals? Perhaps our dominion isn't grounded in essence, but in practice. Specifically, our unparalleled knack for cooperation on a massive scale. Take as a contemporary example the workings of a U.S. election. Nearly 40 million individuals converge on a singular objective, adhering to a unified set of rules and upholding the outcome. This phenomenon is a testament to our species' unique ability to organize and act collectively on a grand stage, a feat unmatched in the animal kingdom. Part 3. The narrative weave of religion. How shared stories bind us in moral complexity. In the vast theater of human interaction, it is our penchant for cooperation that has carved the contours of societies and civilizations. But it isn't merely practicality that brings us into unison. It's the compelling power of shared narratives that harmonizes our individual tunes into a symphony of collective action. These narratives, stories imbued with values and beliefs, have always been the lifeblood of human connection. Rewind the tapestry of history to the Third Crusade in the late 12th century. Leaders of disunited European factions found common cause to launch an audacious bid to reclaim Jerusalem. It was the Catholic narrative, promising eternal salvation, that strung together the French, English, and others into a band of brothers under one holy banner. In contemporary times, the face of religious narratives has morphed, yet remains undeniably potent. It's rare now to see armies amassing at a pontiff's behest, but this isn't due to a vanishing of religion itself. It has simply donned new guises. Let's dissect religion to its core. It isn't merely about the belief in the supernatural, but rather adherence to a sacred set of laws considered inviolable and beyond the mere whims of humans. Through this lens, the convictions held by liberals or nationalists are no less religious than those of Christians or Muslims. Their devotion lies with their own moral codes, as immutable as the laws of physics. It's clear we've not outgrown the need for religion. Science, with all its marvels, doesn't profess to solve moral puzzles. Picture the dilemma of constructing a new hydroelectric dam. It promises energy for multitudes, but at the cost of uprooting communities. Science can lay out the blueprint for building with precision, but it falls silent on whether the dam should rise at all, on the balance of progress and human cost. These questions demand a moral compass, a set of values that can guide us through the ethical wilds. We still seek religion, not in altars or steeples, but in the principles that underpin our decisions, in the stories we tell to justify our choices. Part 4. The Paradox of Modern Empowerment. Gains in power, losses in meaning. The modern world whirs with progress and potential, bestowing upon us the tools to sculpt our existence with remarkable ease. Yet, as we master the art of engineering our lives, one can't help but wonder, has something vital been sacrificed at the altar of advancement? In the shift to modernity, we've traded the comfort of cosmic purpose for the scepter of agency. Reflect on bygone eras, when divine will was the compass by which humanity navigated life's storms and tranquillities. Disasters like famine were interpreted as edicts from above. Our ancestors found solace in the notion that events unfolded according to a divine plan. Their hands were tied to fate's wheel with prayer as their sole recourse. Today, we've shrugged off these celestial narratives. We've unveiled the causality behind phenomena like famine, a complex ballet of tangible factors, and rewritten the script. With this empowered understanding, we invest in technologies that could avert such tragedies altogether. This newfound control spawns a contemporary society fixated on perpetual expansion. Take the enterprise of scientific research. A quest for a groundbreaking fertilizer could revolutionize agriculture, but it hinges on financial speculation. Banks endorse such ventures only if the scent of future profits lingers in the air, reliant on an ever-expanding economy. The life cycle of modern power feeds on growth and innovation. In minutes, we dispatch messages across oceans, an ability once seen as divine. Even mortality, our eternal adversary, seems less formidable. For $100, one can decode their genetic tale, possibly extending the narrative of life through preventative care. Amidst these grand conquests of technology and control, one cannot help but ponder. In our feverish grasp for power, have we let the essence of life's meaning slip through our fingers? Part 5. Humanism, the new script where humans are the playwrights. In a world devoid of divine drama, where do we now seek the thread of meaning that weaves through our lives? Enter humanism, the quasi-religious tapestry that wraps around modern society, drawing patterns of significance not from gods, but from the intricacies of the human saga itself. At its core, humanism spotlights the individual, a beacon from which meaning emerges. It's a kaleidoscope through which we interpret authority, beauty, and value, centering them squarely within the human experience. Who orchestrates the symphony of democracy? The individuals who cast their votes? And where does the essence of beauty reside? It winks back at us from the mirror of personal perception. Humanism, however, is not monolithic. It presents itself in diverse hues. Each sect offers nuanced answers to ethical conundrums. Consider the quandary: should one bear arms for their country? Nationalists, with their intrinsic elevation of compatriots over outsiders, resonate with an unequivocal yes. What of the notion of redistributing wealth to alleviate poverty? The socialist hue of humanism is bold here, prioritizing the collective whole over individual prosperity. Liberalism, on the other hand, seeks to balance the scale, claiming to value every human narrative with impartiality. And of the myriad strands of humanist thought, liberalism reigns supreme. Propelled from the powerhouses of northwestern Europe and North America, liberalism's influence cascaded across continents, redefining norms and absorbing societies into its paradigm, especially post 1991, with the dissolution of the Soviet Union. The landscape now offers no stark rival to liberalism. Even revolutionary cries often echo liberal sentiments. Case in point, the Occupy Wall Street movement. Far from toppling the liberal order, their plea for a more impartial market reveals a yearning for a purer form of liberalism itself. Yet as we march towards an era sculpted by ever-advancing technology, the resilience of liberalism is put to the test. Can this ethos adapt, or will it crumble under the weight of new paradigms? Our society teeters on the brink of this existential inquiry. Part 6. Science's Quiet Revolution Against the Tenets of Liberalism. As we delve deeper into human consciousness, liberalism, with its chance of individual freedom and experience, faces a formidable challenge. The probing eyes of modern science cast doubt upon the foundations upon which liberalism is built. For liberalism to thrive, the concept of free will is indispensable, the very cradle of its ethos. It champions the belief that individuals exercise unfettered choice, which is why acts such as casting a vote bear profound significance. Yet neuroscience wages a quiet rebellion against this ideal. Our decisions, it suggests, are but complex dances of chemistry within the brain, not the expressions of an autonomous will. Such processes are as bound by biology as our heartbeat or the growth of our hair. The reality of this is starkly illustrated with the creation of robo-rats. Through precise electrical stimulation of a rat's brain, we dictate its actions, a turn, a leap, manipulating its will with the flick of a switch. This starkly challenges the notion that will is inherently free. Furthermore, the liberal belief in an intrinsic true self is unraveled by modern psychology. It's been long thought that beneath layers of social conditioning, each of us harbors a core self. Yet psychological studies shatter this illusion. Our brain's two hemispheres, linked by a fragile neural bridge, host distinct identities. This was made evident through research on individuals whose connecting bridge was severed, revealing starkly different functions for each hemisphere. Consider a revealing experiment. A patient's right hemisphere is exposed to explicit visuals, visible only to her left eye, the domain of the right brain. The resultant bashful laughter posed a conundrum as her left hemisphere, unable to perceive the image, constructed a rational explanation out of thin air, blaming the mirth on an innocuous object visible to the right eye. This constant confabulation within our brains mirrors our daily reality. Our left hemispheres tirelessly stitching together narratives, smoothing over inconsistencies, and crafting coherence out of disorder. In this light, liberalism's emphasis on the sanctity of individual experience and free will is under siege. As we expand our understanding, we must contemplate the ramifications on the liberal doctrine that has long been a cornerstone of societal structure. Part 7. A New Kingdom of Algorithms. When technology reshapes our reign. In ever-expanding ripples, the evolution of science and technology is swiftly disrupting the philosophical underpinnings of traditional liberalism. Yet beyond these intellectual tremors lies a more immediate and pressing revolution. One where the beating heart of technology, the algorithm, threatens to usurp the human touch. Every day, algorithms encroach upon territories once exclusively human. They promise efficiency, precision, and an unyielding reliability, swiftly outpacing our capabilities. Consider the stock markets, once bustling with sharp-eyed traders, now the domain of unblinking computers executing trades in fractions of a second. As this algorithmic invasion accelerates, where does it leave us, the creators of these digital masterminds? Can we claim a role immune to the algorithmic tide? Art, that bastion of human expression, has long been presented as such a sanctuary. Yet even here, the algorithm demonstrates surprising prowess. Take David Cope's AI masterpiece, EMI, which weaves melodies echoing the grandeur of Bach, fooling even the most discerning of ears into believing they're listening to the genuine article. The reach of technology extends further, delving into intimate partnerships with our bodies. Researchers at Yale unveiled an artificial pancreas that takes the reins of insulin regulation, releasing diabetic patients from the burden of constant vigilance over their blood sugar levels. Step into the arena of communication, where our digital footprints on platforms like Facebook feed insatiable algorithms mining the depths of our personal lives. Trivia, such as our musings, likes, check-ins, they all pour into the algorithmic cauldron. A study by researchers Yu, Kosinski, and Stilwell unveiled a shocking truth. With enough likes to analyze, Facebook's algorithms can sketch our personalities more accurately than even our partners. Piece by piece, decision by decision, we outsource the tapestry of our daily lives to the intricate weavings of technology. What remains to be seen is whether we'll be content to become the audience of a show run by algorithms or fight to retain our place on the stage we built. Part 8. Confronting the Crossroads. Humanity's Future Dance with Algorithms. In the grand chessboard of existence, algorithms are advancing with daring maneuvers, challenging humanity's claim to the throne. As these digital contenders grow increasingly sophisticated, the question hangs heavy like a storm cloud. What's our next move? One vision for our survival in the algorithmic age is that of techno-humanism, which proposes a symbiosis between human and machine. The creed of techno-humanism is enhancement. By fusing with our creations, we can rise to match the force and intellect of our artificial progeny. Look no further than the developmental leaps being made by the U.S. Army, hard at work on a helmet designed to fine-tune a soldier's focus, gifting them with concentration akin to that of a machine. Such projects, intricately entangled with political and financial drivers, showcase the trajectory of technological integration. Yet in marching down this technological path, detours may lead us into perilous valleys. If our advances cater solely to economic pragmatism, we risk clipping the wings of our humanity, forsaking qualities like empathy on the altar of efficiency. But what if we let go? What if we acquiesce to the waves of change? This is the bedrock of dataism, a worldview that imagines all existence as packets of data swishing through the network of life, with humans, planets, and heartaches alike reduced to mere information flows. Dataism doesn't discriminate between organic and inorganic processors. It judges worthiness by the efficiency in crunching and conveying data. History, through the lens of dataism, is an evolutionary narrative toward constructing the ultimate data processing entity. The quandary deepens. If eventually algorithms outmatch us in creating and refining other algorithms, where do we stand? Will we bow out gracefully, surrendering our scepters to our silicon successors? This contemporary crossroads demands sober thought for what lies ahead. Do we clash and claim our sentience, or do we recede into the backdrop, bequeathing the stage to the ever-unfolding drama of algorithms? The answer lies in the collective pulse of human choice, for now at least. Final summary. In the grand narrative of our existence, the only constant is change. The voyage of humanity, storied and diverse, has sailed from the shores of prehistory to the complexities of the modern age. At the heart of our collective journey is a relentless push towards transformation and advancement. The essence of Homo Deus reveals this relentless evolution. It unravels the tapestry of our past, pondering the conquests that have elevated our species to unprecedented heights of dominance. We face down the specters of famine and plague, redefine the landscape of conflict, and stretch the spans of our lifetimes. But with every summit reached, new horizons beckon. Today's world is in flux, its foundations quivering with the seismic shifts brought on by scientific discovery and technological innovation. Our cherished principles, our very sense of self, are under scrutiny, challenged by the burgeoning capabilities of algorithms and the ethereal nature of data. As we peer into the uncertain future, our task is twofold. We must understand the bedrock of our history while navigating the rapids of the present. Only with this insight can we hope to sketch a vision of what lies ahead. Homo Deus is a map to this understanding, charting the waters of human achievement and inviting us to contemplate our place in the coming epoch. For as the world transforms, so too must we, ready or not, the future beckons. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.